foundations do I love from MAC? What foundations do I use from MAC? And really, just to let you know, it is one of my favorite lines of foundation to use. For African American skin, you know, a lot of companies will give you a foundation that has a lot of red. We have olive in our skin, we have yellow in our skin, golds in our skin, and that should be matched. And that's what I really appreciated with working with MAC for the time that I did for almost 5 years. MAC got it. And it seems like a lot of companies are starting to get it. So I'm just going to show you the foundations that I use from MAC, the foundations that I really love from MAC. I love MAC foundations because this is my kit right here. I mean, I have some Dinair Airbrush, but for the most part, I have all MAC foundations, some MAC Airbrush foundations that I use. I love it. I guess because I am familiar with it, but it matches very well. I mean, Makeup Forever, I do like them. I do like Smashbox, and even some Walgreens or drugstore foundations like Maybelline, Fit Me foundation is really, really nice. So, but we're gonna just keep it all MAC right now. Let me just say what I am wearing on my face right now. I am actually wearing the MAC Pro Longwear foundation. I really do love this foundation for one reason. It does have SPF in it, and it's low. It's an SPF of 10. Really, that is kind of low, so you probably would want to put something like a moisturizer that has a little bit more underneath it. And what that basically means is you can stay out in the sun, you know, not really that long before it starts to penetrate and not be very effective. So you always want to put a little bit more. I can't remember the time frame with SPF 10 or 15 or how that goes, but the time frame of 10 is pretty low. So you definitely want to use a moisturizer underneath the SPF if you want to make sure to protect yourself from the sun if you're going to be in the sun for a prolonged amount of time. But I really do like the Pro Longwear because it really is that. It lasts for a long time, and also you can get that airbrush look with a foundation like this. Now the brush that I like to use, I love the Sigma brushes. They sell the flat top kabuki, the round top kabuki, the angled kabuki, the pointed type of kabuki brush, and this one right here is the F82. And I actually have a tutorial of this look where I'm using this actual foundation with this brush with a little bit of Fix Plus, and I usually always spray my face with Fix Plus with any foundation that I'm using. I use this because it really does hydrate the skin. It's got different ingredients in it like chamomile, vitamin E, different things like that. We used to say it's like salad for the skin. It's really good for your skin, and it also hydrates and actually shears the foundation out. I really like this foundation too because it is very comfortable for the skin. It also gives you 15 hours of wear. Do I agree with that? Not 100%, but almost. I could be gone all day. Sometimes it does settle in my laugh lines. Really, all foundation does that for me, and because I don't really wear a primer underneath. But this really wears very long. I know my hairstylist was saying, how can you wear makeup? It's so hot. But you know what? I told her, if you're wearing cheap makeup, it will show. If you wear makeup and you're going to spend a little bit of extra money for it, like the MAC foundation, it's going to last. My makeup will last. I even did a video the other day where I was sprucing up the look. I had my makeup on all day long. And guess what? I came home, I ate, I took a nap, and everybody was commenting saying, your makeup still look good. And I have to agree with that. I'm sorry if you hear Murphy. He's acting bad upstairs. So I just wanted to show you the wearability of the Pro Longwear. This is the Pro Longwear that I just got finished talking about, and I put it on 6 hours ago. The wearability, they're saying, and I have not touched up my makeup. I have not touched up my lip. As you can see, it's kind of wearing off. My foundation, I have not touched up the powder. I have not touched up the foundation. I have not touched up my eyes. And I did the Pro Longwear. Remember, I said that it had like a 15-hour wearability, and I really believe that it's true. Now, I have a little bit of settling in my laugh lines right here. But to me, take a look up close. It looks really, really good. Now, I lost my sunlight because it is like 10 o'clock at night, and I did my makeup at 4 o'clock. So again, I taped a tutorial. But the Pro Longwear, look at how it wears. That's pretty amazing. I think it has wonderful wearability. And the concealer that I'm wearing, believe it or not, is the Maybelline New York. This is in the color Deep Foncé, and I also put on Cafe in under my eyes. But I also, because I didn't talk about it in the video, so I need to talk about it now, another foundation that MAC sells, and it's actually only sold at the Pro store, or you can get it online. It is their full coverage foundation, and I just actually bought a new one. This is in the color NW40. Now, the reason why I bought it is because I love to use the concealer in NW40, the Studio Finish concealer that comes in the pot. I like to use it for underneath my brows, and I like to use it for underneath the eyes because it has that peachy tone. The NW40 has a peachy tone, and peachy tones are wonderful for everybody's under eye. Of course, you would use something a little bit lighter for our very lighter skin girls, and then for the darker skin girls, they can use the NW40. It's a beautiful underneath the eye, leaves a wonderful finish. And the reason why I bought the full coverage foundation, I'm not going to be using it all over my face, is I'm going to be using it under the eyes. And the finish of this is very comparable, very close to the actual concealer. So I just thought it would be good to use this. I'll go ahead and take you into the other part of the foundations of the video. So we'll go ahead back to that. The next foundation that I really love, and actually I'm getting back to it, is the Studio Fix foundation. This is a matte finish, and it does really minimize the appearance of pores. So if you have a real porous skin, if you have very textured skin, a lot of bumps on your skin, and you want a fuller coverage, this is the one for you. It has a very long wearability. It is gonna make it look like you have on full coverage, but to me, the look of this foundation is really, really nice and very, very natural. Now, you do have to be careful. I know with myself, I'll keep foundations for a while because I change them up a lot, especially when I work for MAC, because you get such a discount. You change up a lot. You want to use different ones, and then you put one on the back burner. With this one, you have to be careful because the coloring of it will be off if you wait too long to use it again. So one thing that I would recommend is maybe taking the pump off of it and then putting the top back on it really, really tight, putting it somewhere, you know, store it in a nice place where it's not too hot, not too cold, maybe in the bathroom cabinet or something like that, so that the color does not change. Now, one thing I will say about this is I know when I'm using it on my clients and when I'm using it on myself, I do mix colors a lot because this oxidizes and will get a little bit darker sometimes for you. So you have to be careful with that. But one thing that I do like about it, it does have an SPF of 15. That's more than a Pro Longwear. So you are going to be protected a little bit more in the sun with the Studio Fix fluid. So again, the Studio Fix fluid is, again, it's a staple at MAC. I don't think they'll ever get rid of it. And I just think that it's great for all different races, and they have colors that really, really match you. Now, I know some of the complaint when I worked at MAC was with the Studio Fix, sometimes on our lighter skin ladies, it would tend to start to look a little pinky. So if they were like really, really, really light, like those porcelain beautiful skin ladies, they came up with was NW10s, NW33, something that's going to be kind of in between some of the colors that they had, so they were going to really match. Now, I still don't love it for women that are really, 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 really dark, like our NW50s, our NW55s. To me, it doesn't photograph well, the Studio Fix. I can't remember the ingredient in here. I know in the Studio Fix powder, it has a talc in it, so it bounces. Like you take a picture and you look like, you look very, very light in the face, and it just doesn't look that great. So that's the only downfall with like the Studio Fix powder, but we'll talk about that in a second. But this is a really good foundation. You can use a very little bit. You can use, I use usually maybe a pump and a half, maybe a pump and a fourth, and it's enough for my skin. And it's really, really nice. It's very, very blendable. And again, I'll use it with my Sigma Kabuki brushes that really give me that airbrush look. And people constantly ask me, do I airbrush my face? And I really, really do. Maybe for a formal occasion I may do it, but hardly ever. But the Studio Fix foundation really can make you look like you have an airbrush appearance. To me, even the Pro Longwear does as well, and that's what I'm wearing right now. Next foundation is my all-time favorite right now. It's the one that I use probably every single day, and you see I have a box because I went and had to pick up another one. It is the Studio Matchmaster. When MAC came up with this maybe a year or two ago, they were onto something. When, you know, companies advertise different things all the time, and it's like, it's kind of like, you know, whatever, you're advertising for yourself. It's really not all that great. This is true to what it says. And you know what? I'm going to have to read it to you, what it says, because everything to me about this foundation that MAC says on their site is true. It says that it uses shade intelligence technology to bring customized shades in a flawless demi-matte finish with medium buildable coverage and broad spectrum of UVA, UVB, SPF 15 protection. It gives perfect color purity without looking ashy or chalky, reduces shine on the skin surface, and helps to absorb excess oil, conditions and soothes skin while minimizing the appearance of pores and imperfections. I promise you, that all has to be true. Now, the one thing that you might be saying, what in the world are they talking about? As far as them using shade intelligence. Basically, this foundation would be something that you would want for your kit. And the reason why I say that is many makeup artists know that to build a kit, it is very expensive. I built my kit over a course of time, and it is so expensive to have a kit. It is so expensive to keep up with a kit. You don't want your kit to look nasty and different things like that, but we'll talk about that another day. But you don't have to buy a lot of the Matchmasters. Now, unfortunately, they are glass, so you have to be really careful, and that's why I have the Zuka. The Matchmaster is a match master. So a person a little bit darker than me, a little bit darker than me, a little bit lighter than me can get away with this one, 7.5. A person that wears 7.0 is usually like a person that wears like NC 45. Well, a person that wears NC 44 and NC, I can even get away with wearing a 7.0. So it kind of, it has shade intelligence. You know, a lot of foundations say, like BB creams say, that it kind of goes into the skin and starts to match the skin. Well, this would be the same thing. It will just really go into the skin and start matching your skin. Now, of course, you wouldn't want to wear a 1 if you wear a 7.5. It's not going to work. It's really nice. It does have also an SPF of 15, so it's going to really help to protect you from the sun. Of course, you may want to put a little bit extra in the skin, but this is my all-time favorite foundation. The next foundation in my collection, and I have like a little tape over it because I actually use it for my kit. Well, actually, I took it out of my kit. It is a Studio Fix powder. I don't love the Studio Fix powder. I never did. The reason being is I'm an NC 50 shade, and the NC 50 is just a little chalky looking on my skin. The NW 45 is too red on my skin, and then this powder does oxidize. It also has talc in it, and talc bounces off. Every time I took a picture, I was like, why does my skin look so light from here on and not from here down? So it's a foundation. Many people do love this because it is a one-stop foundation powder. You can just powder it onto your skin and you're gonna have the coverage that you need, and it is really nice. But to me, it depends on what color you are. For my skin tone, I never ever liked this. And I used to always wear it back about 7-8 years ago, but now I really don't love it. And again, I took it out of my kit, so, but this is Studio Fix powder. This one is in the color NC 40, so it's never been used. It just is pretty much gone to waste. I would never want to put this underneath someone's eyes because it would not photograph right. I wouldn't really want to do anything much with it, so kind of a waste. Now the next one that I want to talk about is the Mineralize foundation that here comes in like this, not a jar. I used to have the ones that were in the jar, the older ones. I never got the newer ones. The older one of the Mineralized foundation that came like in a jar like this, I hated it. I just didn't like how it made my skin very glowy and it made my skin kind of oily. The newer Mineralized foundation that comes in a jar, I can't really tell you how I like it because I've never tried it, and honestly, I probably won't ever try it. But the Mineralized cream foundation. I really like it. I don't really use it a lot. The coverage was very nice. I will have to say that. It's really good if you have very, very dry skin, and I don't really have dry skin, so that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't really love it. But it kind of, it looks like this. It's very creamy. It's very blendable. I mean, to me, all the shades were like dead on. You can't even see that on my skin, and you shouldn't be able to. But it's better for your skin because it's particles that are really broken down a little bit more, and it's more natural and better for your skin. So if you have very sensitive skin, you probably want to go with the Mineralized collection. If you have very oily skin, I would probably go with the cream more than the liquid, because to me the liquid, again, the older one, because they came up with a new formula, so you might want to try the new formula, but the older one again made my skin look extremely oily and kind of look shimmery almost too. But try the new formula, try it out, get a sample, but I would probably try the cream as well. It has shea butter in it. It's really, and shea butter is very good for your skin. It's very emollient, so it's going to really hydrate the skin. So this right here is, again, the Mineralize foundation, and it also has SPF of 15 in it, so that's pretty good as well. The next one I'll talk about is the Face and Body foundation. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit because it's actually kind of used down, which is weird because I didn't really use this a lot, and I still really don't use it a lot. But this right here is for people that do not want coverage. This is extremely sheer, but it is a beautiful foundation to use on your brides who want a very clean look, who don't really want a lot of foundation. But to be honest, you have got to have great skin to use this. If you want this on your wedding day, and if you want this and you're going to be taking pictures, because you're not going to have much coverage at all. It's very, very simple. I know a lot of the guys and girls at the Mac Pro store love this. I mean, I live in Chicago, and so like the city people, when I do weddings, like downtown people, they're the ones that like lighter, natural type of coverage. Then this is like the type that I'm going to use, or I'm going to use airbrush makeup, because it's going to give a sheer coverage but a more flawless type of a look with the airbrush, and because airbrush covers a little bit more than this, so I'm not going to use this a lot. But if I have someone who's like, I want to be extremely natural, then of course I'm going to use this, the Face and Body, or just extremely minimal amount of foundation and sheer it out with Fix Plus spray, just to kind of sheer it out. They say that this is water resistant and it's very long wearing. I would probably agree with that because it's so thin, you can't even tell you have it on much anyway. So, some people say they hate it, some people really love it, but it's going to give you just a little bit of a shine, to your skin. So it's worth a try if you want to. I would actually sample it before I bought it because it is $27 for this bottle. Another foundation that I don't have, I actually just Sunday, I gave it to my sister. It was the Studio Sculpt foundation. It was more of her skin tone. It said NC50 on it, but it was really an NC55. So it was too dark for me, so I let her go ahead and take it. But the Studio Sculpt, I'll show you a picture of it. Okay, now the Studio Sculpt is a medium type of coverage. It's going to give you a very natural type of look to your face. And actually, when I worked at MAC, one of my really good friends, Tamara, used to love to put that on my skin with a nice fluffy brush. So you'd want to use something like, a brush like this, like a 109 or the 129, and just really whip that kind of foundation onto the skin. It's going to give you a really nice, flawless type of a look. It has SPF 15 in it. For our older ladies, that is a wonderful foundation for you. So if you have kind of textured skin, bumpy skin, then you definitely probably want to use like a Studio Sculpt because you're going to get a nice finish on that. The next one I'll show you a picture of, and that is the Studio Tint. Studio Tint, yes, I have used before. To me, it is for our more lighter skin ladies. To me, MAC has not really mastered it for darker skin ladies like myself. It is nice though. It does feel very nice. It's not very heavy. It's very lightweight. It's just as it says. So if you're lighter than me, yeah, I would actually definitely go try it. If you're my complexion or darker, it's probably not for you. Or you may want to add it with a foundation because again, you're not going to get much coverage with it's like a BB cream. It's just a tinted moisturizer. And it does have SPF of 15 in it, so it's gonna protect you from the sun a little bit. So another thing that I wanna just show you, it's for our young ladies. Now we're talking like 16, 17 who really wanna start getting into makeup. Even, I mean, I've heard some kids are getting into makeup at like 12. So this right here is the Mineralized Skinfinish Foundation. This is a wonderful foundation. It's not going to add a lot of coverage at all. It is buildable. It is natural. It is natural for the skin. It's going to be better for the skin. It's going to let the skin breathe. So this is the Mineralized Skinfinish Natural Foundation, and it also comes in many different shades. So from deep dark, medium plus, so it's light medium. It's going to match, you know, the skin. So this is really nice, and to me it soaks into the skin, and it's going to give a nice finish after it's kind of soaked in the skin a little bit. Now to me, whenever you use powder, whether it's the Studio Fix or whether it is the mineralized powder always sits on top of the skin until your oils start to get working, and then it kind of sinks into your skin. So with the Mineralized Skin Finish, this is really wonderful if you are putting on foundation and then put this on top, or just use this by yourself, and if you're going to be taking photos, because it's going to photograph very well. It's not going to bounce back from that light and make you look too light. So it's just something to consider. If you want a powder from MAC, then I would do the Mineralized Skin Finish. Now another thing that I brought down was the luster drops. Now this is the older bottle. They do come in a different type of form, but I've had this a little while and I really don't use it a lot. But the reason why I wanted to show it to you is because it is something that you can use with your foundation. This right here is really nice to mix, maybe put on your hand and then put maybe a pump or two of your foundation, mix it in. You can even mix it with the tinted moisturizer. You can mix it with the face and body, and you're gonna have like a glow on your skin. And the reason why I like this one, it has kind of a goldy tone, is it's nice for women of color, women that have a deeper color as well, like myself. Now, if you are very light, or you know, our Asian ladies or our white girls, you would want to use the Strobe Liquid. This right here will go well with you as well, our lighter girls. The Strobe Liquid Lotion is really good for the lighter ladies, because this kind of has like an iridescent color to it. Now darker skin ladies, using this on your skin is going to make it look a little bit gray, but our lighter skin ladies, it's going to really give a nice glow to the skin. And I know that I like to mix it in with like Studio Fix foundation, or put this on the skin first, moisturize the skin with the Strobe Liquid, and then put the foundation on. And I mean, the glow that you have is just absolutely amazing. So that's just a suggestion if you want to do that. So real quick, I just wanted to show you what the old Mineralized foundation looked like. And again, I have not tried the new formula. This is the old formula. This is the one to make you shine bright like a diamond. And I just did not like it. Also, for you ladies that are into Airbrush, MAC sells the Airbrush Pro Performance HD Airbrush makeup. I do like their Airbrush makeup, but to me, if you had oily skin, this was not for you. Even though this is a water-based makeup and it's supposed to not really be affected by tears, sweat, or humidity, it is definitely affected by oils in your skin. So it will kind of break up a little bit and not look as fine as it should. But this right here is only sold at the MAC Pro Store, or you can call. I have used this and I do like it on my skin. I do kind of have an oily T-zone, but to me, it looked beautiful, and I just put a nice translucent powder over the top, and I had a very airbrush nice look. I will say this though, if you get the Dinair system, do not use this. This does not push through the Dinair system. I had to learn the hard way. Dinair is made for Dinair. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it's only made for Dinair. You would have to get the Iwata system, and that's what I have as well. This pushes through the Iwata system. Dinair pushes through the Iwata system, or even the Pache. If for you makeup artists that know about Pache, you can do that. I don't know about Billetto Studio, and Tim2. You can use the Tim2 system, and this will push through the Tim2 system. That is it. I hope you all enjoyed my foundation collection from MAC, And I hope that that was helpful. Please ask me any question. Feel free to leave a comment, like, and also subscribe. And I will see you in another video. And make sure to stop for a second and do your monthly breast check. Breast cancer is affecting many young women now, and we do not want to be affected by that as much as it is. We can stop it in its tracks if we catch it early. So make sure to do your monthly check and make sure to take care of your health, and I will see you in another video.